Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
I'm offended by your jokes. You forgot to give a trigger warning. Hate speech is violence. Will Smith said I could do this.
I am going to kill that. Thank God that was clumsy. He's back there getting stomped. It was a trans man.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and well. Turns out we now know a little bit more about the lunatic that ran on stage at the Dave Chappelle stand-up comedy tour, the Netflix event. And this may shock you, but it is a leftist, a woke advocate, an ally. I mean, are you shocked? I assume you're as shocked as I am, because I am just shocked that somebody who considers themselves an ally would run on stage and try to end the life of somebody because of words they said. What a coincidence. It's really, really shocking stuff. And you know, I'm sure tons of people are going to be covering this. But and that was sarcastic. They're not going to cover it because they never do. You can get this kind of stuff from like right-leaning news sources, but this isn't even like a partisan issue. This is this dude's own words. By the way, huge shout out to everyone who's checking out coffeebrandcoffee.com today. All I ask is that you check out the reviews. I'm not telling you to buy something. Just head on over to coffeebrandcoffee.com, check out the reviews, and let that make up your mind. The Cocos and the cold brews are shipping this week. Some of them may have shipped late last week. We're basically all caught up. So would love to serve you. A man who went on the Dave Chappelle show said he did it because he was offended by his jokes on LGBTQ people. What a shock! What a shock. Let's look at some of the comments here. Dave Chappelle. Okay, well, that's Dave Chappelle was gone after by a museum caveman mannequin. I guess that is kind of, you know, in the 80s, comedians would have poked fun at anyone around them, and the person who made fun of, no matter who they were, laughed. People back then could take a joke. Now they get upset by everything. Here, Mike Mason saying, then why was he even there? Like, you know what you're getting into when you chose to buy tickets. Don't like it, don't go. Now, I can't remember if this clown actually had tickets or not. But this also, it's possible that this clown is just making this up because he knows that he'll get the publicity. But here we have the individual, Isaiah Lee, reveals why he went after Dave. The LA man who was, quote, triggered by the comedian's jokes about the LGBTQ community. Triggered. So because he was triggered, okay, his words, not mine, he justified going up on stage and I don't know what he was going to do. That's the craziest thing about this. I mean, why was he armed? What was he going to do? He says, quote, I identify as bi, and I wanted him to know that what he said was triggering. Lee said Saturday at the corrections facility in LA, dressed in brown jail garb and sporting a sling with his pretzeled right arm. I wanted him to know that next time he should consider first running his material by people it could affect. That sounds like kind of sounds like a threat. I mean, I can't be sure, but it sure sounds like a threat. Lee said he expected to have a good time at the May 3rd show, but he grew angry and frustrated as Chappelle joked about his prior controversies with the LGBTQ community, as well as homelessness. By the way, homelessness, obviously, that sucks. We've got $50 billion or $100 billion to ship overseas, but yeah, we don't have any money to help our homeless, which, you know, many people incorrectly think are just lazy or whatever the case may be. The two primary reasons, of course, are mental illness and addiction. That gets people on the streets, okay? These are two things that we are equipped to do a better job at curbing that we don't seem to care about. I'm also a single dad, and my son is 5, said Lee. So at one point, Lee, who was at one point homeless himself, it's a struggle, and I wanted Dave Chappelle to know it's not a joke. Again, what did you mean by that? Were you gonna shiv him? You had a blade on you, so exactly how was he going to know that he wasn't allowed to make those jokes? I've mentioned this before. Not a lot of people, you know, this was an issue that happened several years back, and I can't get into all the details, but they're out there if you want to find them. You know, I had one of these leftist lunatics come up behind me like a true hero at 2 o'clock in the morning, because they didn't like the things that I said, because they didn't like words that I said. You don't see that on the right, or at least I mean, I'm sure it has happened, but on the left, it's glorified, right? Fiery, but mostly peaceful. He said his breaking point came when another comedian in the show's lineup made a crude joke about the P words, which he said dredged up memories of his own issues. Again, why are you first of all, bro, you're at a Dave Chappelle comedy show. You know that things are going to get spicy, right? There isn't anybody who could deny that fact. But you went anyway, right? I don't believe you. I believe that you probably wanted some social media clout. By the way, speaking of which, if you haven't yet, please do click that red subscribe button down below. It's harder and harder to get new subscribers these days. I know it's a pain to create an account if you haven't, but I would really appreciate it. The stunning takedown at the Hollywood Bowl was caught on camera, showing Lee charging on stage, knocking him over, and then fleeing before security grabbed him. That was a trans man, Chappelle, who was not injured, joked at the crowd right after the incident. Lee admitted that he was carrying inside that night, but he claimed he didn't have it out when he charged the stage. That's also been a really interesting like point of contention for me. Like, bro, like how did you get that in there? Like how did you get that past security? And whether or not you had it out, I don't know. And that could have been like, you know, you never intended on using it, but you still intended on rushing the stage. I don't know. The wannabe rapper, who goes by the name, not giving you the press, once put out a song about the Emmy-winning comic. He said he always carries that thing for protection because he is also a minor celebrity. Oh yeah, everybody knows him. A minor celebrity? The young dad who was roughed up in the incident is facing 4 misdemeanor counts, including, you know, all sorts of bad things like that. They spat on me and twisted me as if on purpose. Good. He said the security guards who left him with a broken arm and 2 black eyes. Good. Good. Lee told the Post that he had some bad things happen in his past, so that makes it all okay. Asked about the report that he has mental health issues, he said they were wrong and inaccurate. His lawyer, however, said he is receiving mental health services. So, well, some people out there say leftism is a mental health disease. I think that's Mark Dice. It was pretty much done, Lee said, about the criminal case involving Chappelle. But it went from me probably doing 6 months and having to do community service and living in a transitional home to possibly 15 or more years, he added, shaking his head. My son will be big by the time I get out. Imagine thinking about your son for once. Golly, some personal responsibility couldn't be me. Did you care about your son when you were rushing the stage? What if they would have ended your existence? Were you thinking about your son then? Were you thinking about your son thinking, it's only going to be 6 months. My kid only has to be without his father for 6 months. No big deal. Are you even involved in your son's life? As a man who was homeless, I'm not sure that you're playing a big role. I don't know. Still, he said that he doesn't regret what happened because he saw it as an opportunity to speak out about homelessness, LGBTQ rights, and topics that often serve as fodder for comedians. So it was premeditated? So you fully intended on going there for that purpose? I don't understand, how anybody's surprised. After the incident, Lee said that Chappelle asked him backstage at the bowl why he did it. I told him my mother and my grandmother, who fought for his civil rights to be able to speak, would be upset at the things he said. Wait, what? That doesn't even make sense. But Chappelle retorted, now your story will die with you, son. But he's wrong, Lee insisted to the Post reporter. I'm sitting here talking to you about it. A rep for Chappelle did not return requests for comment. Netflix spokesperson declined to comment for the record and referred the Post to the company's earlier statement. Yeah, just another lunatic leftist that nobody's going to report on. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again real soon.